did countywide.
Was Steve coming back?
I don't know, maybe it's not
here.
Mr. Farrell.
He's here.
All right, well, he's here.
We will. Is he? Oh, there he is.
Happy to.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
My hands are frozen.
I'm sorry, it is even nippy for
Good
me.
evening. We are now ready to begin this evening's board meeting. The school board meeting of July 25th, 2017 is now called to order. The time is 6:02 p.m. At this time, we request that all electronic devices be turned off or be put into the silent mode. Also, we ask that you please refrain from using flash photography. We would like to take this opportunity to remind the members of the public of the district's mission, which is to ensure that each student achieves his or her highest personal potential, and also of the district's vision to be a world-class school system. This evening's agenda includes the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, one acknowledgement, public comment, consent action items, which include 2 items under executive services, 5 items under academic services, 1 item under business services, 5 items under human resources, 1 item under information systems, and 11 items under operations. Mr. Law, I thought you were trying to save money. 5 superintendent's recommendations, 1 of which is good cause. Dr. Atkins, will you please provide an explanation for this item?
Yes, I will. We are rapidly approaching the beginning of school, and we want to make sure that every student has a full-time teacher in the classroom. We do have some of our teachers that are working towards credentialing, and we would like them to be able to remain employed with the school district in the classroom as they do that. So I'm recommending a special status long-term substitute, level 2 this evening, so that we can retain these teachers in the classroom for the start of school.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. As presiding officer, I find that there is good cause to add this item to the agenda.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also on the agenda, bless you,
Thank you.
are 1 attorney's recommendation, which is good cause. Mr. Martin, will you please provide an explanation for your item?
Yes, Mr. Fisher, board members, the one item this evening is to recommend that the Lee County School Board participate in lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of House Bill 7069. I am requesting this be added as a good cause item to ensure that Lee County School Board is a participant in the litigation from its inception.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. As presiding officer, I find that there is also good cause to add this item to the agenda. Continuing with the agenda, 2 items for public hearing and 4 items under other business. Board members, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Teuber and seconded by Mrs. LaRiviere. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 6-0. This evening, Mrs. Giovanelli will deliver the invocation, after which Mr. Teuber will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise for the invocation.
Lord, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may be reach successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. The character word for July is self-control. It is defined as the ability to direct or regulate your actions, emotions, and words. Our quote for this evening is, "He that would govern others should first be the master of himself." Philip Massinger. Well, I thought there was going to be a design, but there is not. We'll show it the next time. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is public comment. Mr. Martin, please address the agenda item of public comment.
School board policy provides the opportunity at this point in the meeting to address the board concerning any matter on this meeting's agenda or any other matter relevant to the operation of the school district. If you completed a card and submitted that to me before the meeting began, you'll be called in the order of the card submitted. If you did not submit a card but still wish to address the school board this evening, the school board chair, Ms. Fisher, will give you an opportunity in a moment to express that desire. The rules concerning public comment to the school board are posted at the back of the room. The board does not respond during public comment time to remarks made by speakers. At the conclusion of public comment time, the school board chair may respond to concerns expressed by speakers or may assign a responsibility to the superintendent to do so. Speakers are expected to act in a respectful manner. Those who fail to do so after being warned by the meeting chair may be required to leave the meeting. Disruptive attacks on individuals are prohibited. Ms. Fisher, I have 4 cards this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Is there anyone on the right side of the auditorium who did not fill out a card and wishes to speak? Anyone on the left side? Mr. Martin, please call the first card.
First speaker is Dr. William Escher.
If you, okay. Mr. Martin will help you. Welcome.
Not on.
Don't be frightened. Just state your name and then begin.
Professional name is Dr. William Edward Escher III. That's my professional name.
No.
I don't
Get
think
some
so.
assistance with the microphone.
Hold on just 1 minute, Dr. Escher. We'll get someone to help you.
No.
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 Sorry for the delay.
Your time has not begun, sir. You still have 3.
Go ahead.
Oh, that doing it?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, uh-oh. Now I can hear myself.
There you go.
The name is Dr. William Edward Escher. That's my professional name. I took that from my late grandfather. Okay, back on May 28th of this year, I worked over at Dunbar High. Now, I use a lot, I use a lot of figure of speech like, I'm going to cause a tidal wave, but don't take that to heart. The point I'm getting at is that the students apparently are the ones that run the ship. In other words, if they don't get their way, they go home, tell their parents, and either the teacher gets fired or the principal gets fired, one or the other. Because this is the first time it's happened in my life that the students, 2 young ladies in particular, the first time I've ever heard students of 9th, 10th graders using the F word in the classroom. I bring this up to the students, I bring this up to the assistant principal, and they side with the students. Figure of speech or freedom of speech or whatever. Okay, I also come down because they were using cell phones in the classroom. And I made a comment, there's a big bulletin board up in the front, no cell phones allowed. So they put them down by the lap. Well, this is the point I'm getting at, is that if the majority of the students don't like an associate or assistant or substitute teacher, they will run to the powers to be and say, hey, he's doing this or he's doing that. So I was put on a do not call list because I was trying to keep law and order in the classroom. The students did not like this. Now, this is the first time I've ever heard of students using the F word, and I asked them, where'd you learn that word from? They said, my mother. But they said, hey, I'm just using my freedom of speech. So I'm trying to keep law and order in the classroom. The students don't like it, so they run to the principal, vice principal, assistant principal, puts me on the do not call list because I'm trying to keep law and order in the classroom.
Thank you, Dr. Eschers. Your time's up, sir.
We appreciate your comments. Thank you.
I didn't realize there was a time limit on this.
Oh. We'll address you after the other people speak, sir.
Next speaker is Mark Castellano.
Board members, I am Mark Castellano, President of the Teachers Association of Lee County. I am very excited about the good cause item that y'all put on the agenda tonight, and I am very much looking forward to the vote to solidify your participation in the lawsuit about HB 7069. This is truly one of the most, I'm not quite sure what adjective to use for it, but it is a horrendous piece of legislation, ill thought out, with a very partisan-driven agenda of privatizing public education. I appreciate the fact that this board is willing to stand up and say enough is enough and join that lawsuit. That's very exciting for us in the district, and it gives us some feeling of hope and encouragement that we are going to take a stand on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Charla Fox.
Welcome back. My name is Charla Fox. I am a teacher in the District of Lee County. Spoken with you all many times. It's good to see you again. I am also going to speak to the House Bill 7069. It is so destructive to what is being done and what this board in this school district is working towards. It is taking away your power. It is taking away their power locally and putting it at the state level. And it is something that I am so glad to see. It is a good cause item, and I encourage you to vote to go with this, because we cannot let it stand and the power be taken out of your hands and our hands and put in the hands of others who do not necessarily have the best interest of our students in mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Last speaker is George Fox.
Board, I appreciate it. Yeah, I support the joining of the lawsuit, but it's entirely too little too late. The real reason this is going down is because this school board, and I guess school boards around the state, haven't participated getting out there in the public and defending public education. This bill was a long time coming. Everybody saw it coming. Everybody in this district and this board has seen it coming for years. They've been working at it. Those state legislatures are not your friends, and you need to be out there defending to the public public education and the good things that are happening in this school district. There are great things happening in this school district, and they outperform charter schools. Public doesn't know that. All they know is what they read in the paper. And that is the responsibility of this board. If you want public education to work, lawsuits are too little, too late. You got to get out there and work. And I congratulate Chris Patrica, you have put a lot of energy into it, and I acknowledge that, and you're doing well, Chris. Keep it up. The rest of you board members should look at what she's doing. She's out there. She's not going to the schools and meeting the teachers. That's good. See what the kids are doing. That's good. You got to get out there in the public. You got to hold open meetings. Get people to come in and start being, involved in the school district. That'll get the parents, everything. It starts with the board. It doesn't start with the superintendent. It starts with the board. And each and every one of you have to get out there and work in the public. I know you think you have been, but you haven't. You really haven't. Hopefully you will take that with the meaning that it is, with the well-meaning that I'm trying to tell you. I see the political landscape out there, and the board is invisible. They're taking advantage of the fact that this board doesn't to defend its turf. That's really what it comes down to. The state legislature, it's too easy for them. Our delegation here in Lee County, they're bought and sold, and they don't care. They don't respect you. They don't listen to you, and they're going to do exactly what they want to do. And until you use your constitutionally established authority to make school matters go through this board and not the state legislature. Their job is supposed to make sure that the money is evenly distributed. Well, they've taken that and turned it into controlling schools and every classroom and every word that every teacher utters, because this board has let them do it. I hope that you understand that, and I hope that you will, as of tonight, go to work, not win a lawsuit, because the lawsuit's not going to get you anything. It might, it'll be in the courts for years. All right? You want results, get out there and work. That's my message to this school board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. Dr. Atkins, could you have someone contact Dr. Escher and talk to him a little bit further about his situation?
I'll ask Mr. Deming if you would, please, or Dr. Pruitt. Could speak to him before he leaves. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Escher. Okay, and for everyone else, we appreciate your support, and we had a good conversation during the briefing meeting. We understand that 7069 has been detrimental and destructive, and so we will act on that tonight. And thank you very much for taking the time to come out and speak and give us your opinions. Next is the approval of action items on the agenda under consent. Board members, are there any agenda items you wish to pull for discussion under the unfinished business or tabled items portion of the agenda? Mrs. Morgan.
I have none.
Mrs. LaRiviere.
I have none.
Mr. Teuber.
I have none.
Ms. Patrica.
I have none.
Mrs. Giovanelli.
None.
And I have none. So then, is there a motion to approve the agenda's consent action items at this time?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. LaRiviere,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Morgan. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 6-0. Dr. Atkins, would you like to introduce any administrators in attendance who have a new assignment that were just approved in the consent action?
Yes, ma'am, I certainly would. First of all, we'll start out with Suzette Rivera, recruitment from compensation recruitment coordinator to assistant director recruitment. Victoria Wilson, Royal Palm Exception Center, from teacher to assistant principal. Cherry Gibson, Sunshine Elementary, from assistant principal to principal. Amy French, Curriculum and Instructional Innovation, Elementary Professional Development and Leadership Specialist to Professional Development Coordinator, Professional Development. Andra Pennis, Curriculum and Instructional Innovation, Elementary Professional Development Leadership Specialist to Professional Development Coordinator, Professional Development. Amika Wood, East Lee County High School Intervention Support Specialist to Dunbar High Assistant Principal. Are the ones that I do have in attendance. I do have a number of others, like Ben Osman is moving from Sunshine Elementary to Bayshore Elementary. He's unable to attend this evening. Lynn Harrell, Bayshore Elementary Principal to Professional Development, Executive Director of Leadership, Professional Development and Recruitment, and she is getting to attend her first Department of Education training in that area. So wish her well. And then Joelle McLaughlin, Bayshore Elementary Teacher to Professional Development Coordinator, Professional Development, is unable to attend. So thank you for the support. We have a wonderful group of new leaders, and looking forward to great things out of them.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to everyone. We know you'll work hard, just as you always have. And Suzette and Robert, I'm very proud of you. Next on the agenda is the superintendent's recommendations.
The first recommendation is I recommend board approval of the revision to the supervisory, technical, and confidential salary schedule to include a level 2 long-term guest teacher classification.
Board members, is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Morgan,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Teuber. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 6-0. Next recommendation, Dr. Atkins.
I recommend board approval of the 2017-2018 Agreement and Articulation Acceleration Plan for Florida Southwestern State College and the District School Board of Lee County, Florida, to enhance learning opportunities for eligible students with the opportunity to take specified college-level courses in lieu of standard curricular courses at an estimated cost of $1,200,000. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute related documents.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. LaRiviere,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Giovanelli. Any discussion? I just want to say this is an awesome opportunity for our high school students. Many of them are graduating with AA degrees, and that really helps their families. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 6-0. Item C.
Next recommendation, I recommend board approval of the contract with the Lee County Sheriff's Office to support the School Resource Officer Program for a period of August 3rd, 2017 to August 2nd, 2018, at a total cost not to exceed $2,361,800. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute all related documents.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Teuber,
Support.
supported by Mrs. LaRiviere. Any discussion? Mr. Teuber.
Yeah, I'd just like to say this is another renewal of a great relationship that we have with the Sheriff's Office. Our SROs in today's world are paramount to our kids. They provide role models, relationships with our students. We have over 47 officers assigned throughout our district. We had talked earlier, we had an issue regarding, safety of our schools. Our Lee County school system is a safe place for your children to be, and that's a large part because of our SROs. So I'll be supporting this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 6-0. Item D.
I recommend board approval to increase the expenditure of $1,213,661.09 by $49,950 for ITB number CB17-0001TA for the re-roofing of Estero High School at a total expenditure of $1,263,611.09.
Thank you. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Support.
Moved by Mrs. Morgan, supported by Mrs. LaRiviere. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 6-0. Item E, Dr. Adkins.
Thank you. I recommend board approval to piggyback Hernando County bid for the purchase of classroom instructional materials, supplies, and equipment catalog discounts for the period of July 26, 2017 through July 25, 2018, at an estimated expenditure of $600,000 with an option to cancel if deemed to be in the best interest of the district. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute all related documents.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Giovanelli,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Patrica. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 6-0. And next on the agenda, we have attorney's recommendations. Mr. Martin.
Ms. Fisher, board members, I have one recommendation this evening. I recommend that the board approval for the Lee County School Board to participate as a plaintiff in litigation to challenge the constitutionality of House Bill 7069 at a cost of $25,000. Approval authorizes the school board attorney to sign related documents and to approve the assignment of legal counsel to the lawsuit on behalf of the Lee County School Board.
Board members, you've heard Dr. Martin's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Patrica and seconded by Mr. Teuber. Any discussion?
Patricia?
I've said it all this afternoon, I
Well,
think.
just for edification, you might want to, a lot of people don't watch the school board briefing, but everybody watches the action meeting. If you could indulge us.
I support our board entering the lawsuit as a plaintiff because I feel that it's necessary for us to stand up for the rights of our students. Our view of the constitutionality of this law is different from that of our state representatives and our state senators. And this is not personal. This is about going to court and having the court decide the issues for us. And I was first inspired to do this at an FSBA training when we had a consortium meeting, and this really, to me, is the only hope that we have to stand up for what's right for our children. So with that being said, I strongly support this. I think we've gotten really good advice from Mr. Martin in conjunction with school board attorneys from across the state. This is something that we have discussed and thought about for a significant period of time, not as a board. Today was the first time we were able to discuss it as a board because of sunshine, but it is an issue that was first raised in June at FSBA training, and we've had individual conversations and done quite a bit of research individually. So although this is an issue that's being raised and voted on the same day, it was done with great deliberation. And for those reasons, I support joining the lawsuit as a plaintiff.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Patrica. Mr. Teuber.
Thank you. To just give a little bit of background so that the taxpayers understand what we're doing, we don't take suing the state lightly. Matter of fact, we really don't envy being in this position. And contrary to Mr. Fox, we didn't see it coming because last year, this is an appropriations bill, HB 7069. It's a bill for funding, yet it's fraught with policies. And all of those policies tried to go individually on their own merits last year. None of them made it through the House floor. Most of them didn't even make it to the floor for debate. But the ones that got to the floor where taxpayers and interest stakeholders could speak about it, they quickly got snuffed out because they're all wrong. For number one, what they do is they abrogate the policy of local control. They take power away from the local school boards and give it to the state. Our Title I money from the federal government, they're not going to tell us how to spend it, putting hoops and criteria on things that we have for our most needy. They take capital money that we use to build our buildings, and they take it and put that money to charter schools, which are owned by private entities. So taxpayer money is doing a bailout for charter school holders who are private businesses. We cannot stand for that. We don't have the money to build our own schools, and we've made that upon you. It's also against the Constitution. For all you constitutionalists, you know, our Constitution mandates one issue, one bill. This has numerous bills that we have all in one bill in a appropriations bill. So, but I do agree with Mr. Fox 100%, and that's the first time that I agree with you 100%, Mr. Fox, but you're right. This board did not get out. You know, when this happened, we have now realized that if this bill passes, it changes the way, and it stands the way it is, it changes the way taxpayers we'll see laws being made, because it was completely quiet till the end. They pushed it through. Nobody got to speak about it. Nobody got to know about it. Most of you taxpayers don't even know it happened. And it will become the way they do business up in Tallahassee, where they do what they want and not what the taxpayers want. Well, this particular instance, it directly affects public education, but the next one, it's going to be healthcare or something else that's going to affect the taxpayers. So you all, if you don't know about House Bill 7069, you need to read about it or ask one of us, because as Mr. Fox said, you're going to see a lot of all 7 of us everywhere, because this is going to get very, very public very, very quick. And as Ms. Patrica said, it's not personal, but you can't pull the wool over taxpayers' eyes, and especially on our watch, to our children. So we're going to take it to the courts, but we're also going to take it to the court of public opinion and educate you as best as we can to show you what they tried to do without you even knowing about it with your taxpayer dollars. So I'm supportive of this entire board. We spent a lot of time today deliberating about it, but I felt it was important for me to quickly give you a synopsis of how passionate we are about this point. What they did was wrong to the taxpayers, to our children, and to the future of the state of Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Teuber. Any other comments, board members? Mrs.
And he
Giovanelli?
wants to speak. And also, Mr. Fox, just so you know, we have a commitment with the board that we are going to get out to our local delegation ahead of the game this year, and that is something that, as a board, we have all committed to, and you have our commitment. I think I can speak for everyone here, and that you have our commitment on that. So we are trying to understand and get ahead of the game, legislature, and we will work towards this not happening again to us, at least knowing about it somehow.
Thank you. Any other comments? I'm sorry, Mr. Martin.
Just needed to share, as I shared this afternoon, I discussed this matter with Dr. Kunkel. She asked me to share with you that she is in support of the recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, seeing no further discussion. Did you have something, Mrs. Morgan?
No.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 6-0. And so you got work to do, Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is public hearings. I'm going to ask Dr. Atkins to present his recommendations for this evening's public hearing items.
First, I recommend board approval of the adoption of policy 3.071, comprehensive health education, to implement a comprehensive health education K-12 curriculum ensuring that all students receive health education standards as required by section 1003.42 Florida statute. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, July 26, 2017. Next recommendation, I recommend board approval of the revisions to policy 4.16, student attendance for grades pre-K to 12, to provide school administration with the additional tool to enforce student attendance and improve student performance. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, July 26, 2017.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. We will now recess this regular school board meeting and open the public hearing. As indicated, the public hearing this evening is to consider approval to adopt policy 3.071, comprehensive health education, and also approval of the revision to policy 4.16, student attendance for grades pre-K through 12. At this time, the public is invited to speak on these 2 items. The time allowed for comment is 3 minutes. Is there anyone on the right side of the auditorium who wishes to address the board? Mr. Fox. And is there anyone on the left side of the auditorium who wishes to address the board? Okay, Mr. Fox, please approach the podium.
And I appreciate it. I want to stand in support of the health initiative that the superintendent is bringing forth. He's doing a good job, and I think particularly in the area of sexual education, to be perfectly blunt, I think that it's high time that in public education and just public in general, that the birds and the bees get explained a lot sooner and a lot better, so we can prevent unplanned pregnancies, which of course is at the heart of the abortion issue, which is, one of the things that's tearing this country apart. It's not an easy answer, and something that I think that I applaud the superintendent. I think I know what he's getting at, and I want to support that in every way. It's an important issue, and I hope this board sees the value in that. And just like getting out there and talking, this is the subject that the sooner that you can help kids with the birds and the bees, the better. So thank you. I support it.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. I will now close this public hearing and reconvene the regular school board meeting of July 25th, 2017. Dr. Atkins, please restate your recommendations for this evening's public hearing items.
First recommendation, I recommend board approval of the adoption of policy 3.071, comprehensive health education, to implement a comprehensive health education K-12 curriculum, ensuring that all students receive health education standards as required by section 1003.42. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, July 26, 2017.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Patrica and seconded by Mrs. La Riviere. Any
Mrs.
discussion?
Morgan.
Oh, Mrs. Morgan, I'm sorry. You're still too far away from the
Beat me to
Kathleen.
it.
And I'm really loud.
I'm a sound buffer.
Yes, you are. Any discussion?
May I make a comment?
Yes.
I don't know your name up front. What is your name?
Leisha Roy.
Thank you. I know you put a lot of work into this, and I'm really, really, really appreciative of your efforts, and I hope that you take some joy and pat yourself on the back, because job well done. That's it.
Any other comments? I'm going to make a comment. The School Health Advisory Committee started working on this initiative in 2012. So now it's 2017, it's been 5 years. Our administrative staff has been very supportive. Our Department of Health people who are sitting here, many of our members who are in community agencies that work directly with our kids and see the result of kids not having health education in school, have been working on this diligently. I want to thank Mrs. Ralph and Alex Whalen for the work that they did in providing input for the policy and also in working on the curriculum that will be presented. So I'm very excited about this, and I'm in full support of it. And if there are no other discussion, I'll take a vote. So all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Great. Next recommendation, Dr. Atkins.
I recommend board approval of the resolution to policy 4.16, student attendance for grades pre-K to 12, to provide school administration with an additional tool to enforce student attendance and improve student performance. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, July 26, 2017.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second?
Moved by Mrs. Morgan, seconded by Mrs. La Riviere. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Okay, now it's time for board members' comments and reports, if we have anything. Mrs. Morgan.
I have nothing.
Mrs. La Riviere.
I have none at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Toiber. Mrs. Patrica. Mrs. Giovanelli.
I just want to echo, great job. I know hard work, so, and I see it, your expression, like it means a lot to me, because
Relief.
I see the work, and I didn't know, 5 years, I'm like, I was back here like, so congratulations.
Thank you, Alicia. I also want to thank Mr. Flock and his maintenance team for the improvements that they made to the board dais in very short time, along with Mr. Alton and his staff for helping to set us up and get us ready to do business in a more effective, efficient manner. And it's really nice to be able to look and see one another so that we can communicate better. So I want to thank all of the staff who were involved in this, and I can't believe how fast they got it done. So thank you very much. And Dr. Atkins, thank you again for your leadership. And Mr. Martin, thank you, as always, for your support and advice. And that's all I have. So, Mr. Martin?
No report this evening, thank you.
Okay, and Dr. Atkins.
No comments as well.
Okay. On Tuesday, August 8th, there's a school board briefing meeting at 2 p.m., as well as a school board action meeting at 6 p.m. At this point, having no other business to come before this body, I will entertain one last motion for adjournment. So moved. Moved by Mrs. Morgan, seconded by Mrs. La Riviere. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, and home safe, everyone.